The Iron Bowl, another incredible rivalry that we get this week, regardless of what happened last week. You know, I was on with Andy Staples from On3 yesterday, and Andy does a really good job over there. And we're talking about, is the New Mexico State loss is like the worst thing that could have happened for Alabama. It's awful for Auburn. The optics are absolutely terrible. But in this game, if you've ever followed the Iron Bowl at all, especially at Jordan-Hare, just weird things happen in general. There's going to be a lot of people that the spread's at 14.5 right now. There's going to be a lot of people that are writing Auburn off because of last week. And I get it. It makes sense. You know, I know Jerry Kill in New Mexico State, and then they got a good football team, but you shouldn't lose New Mexico State at home if you're Auburn. But it's amazing how these rivalry games, especially, you know, this in-state one, guys kind of play above board. Auburn finds a way to hang in these games. When you're looking at the keys, David, and you look at this Auburn team who's got one 4-star blue chip guy starting on offense, one. Alabama, I think, is like 90%. It's ridiculous. They don't have a bunch of 2 stars and 3 stars running around. But this game kind of elevates you. If you're Auburn, what do you have to do to be able to not only stay in this game, but win this game?
Well, I think you're exactly right about the loss to New Mexico State. And if that had been a bad football team, maybe we'd be talking about something different. But that was a good team, right? It's just, it looks bad optically. Like
the brand
talking
isn't.
About. Exactly. Yeah. So you have an Auburn team that up to that point was kind of like playing better, getting better, had some big wins, big win over Arkansas. Then all of a sudden you have a loss that looks bad optically, but still that was a good football team who was ranked ahead of you in some polls like we talked about last week. Now all of a sudden you're going to play your biggest rival, one of the greatest rivalries in the history of sports, and you get them at home, where I've seen like less talented Auburn teams, I feel like, beat more talented Alabama teams.
TJ Finley almost beat Bryce Young.
That game, how many that was an overtime game? That was a triple overtime or something? Or?
No, Alabama won that one in regulation. It was. I'm trying to remember how many
right?
It was
4 overtimes.
They let Bryce Young go 95 yards.
In a year where I think the spread was probably bigger than it is now, and you thought Alabama was, going to blow them out even worse. So my question is is Auburn going to be able to have the same success on the ground like they did against Georgia with the lateral run game and up the middle, like the play action off speed sweep, all that kind of stuff? And will Peyton Thorne rise to the occasion in a game like this?
Yeah, well, I mean, Blaine, you look at the matchups on the outside. I mean, Auburn receivers, let's be honest, they've been bad. They've been pretty bad, and you're going up against NFL DBs. But again, this game has a way of evening things out. I've watched kick sixes. I've watched 100-yard interceptions returns that hit the back of Najee Harris. You see crazy things. The question is there enough magic? Is there enough voodoo in Jordan-Hare and that stadium, right? And Jalen Milroe, first time he's played in this game, right? Going on the road. For Auburn to hang around to have a chance, because they've got a lot of stuff's got to go right, all right? A lot of stuff's got to go right. How do you kind of see it going?
I don't think Auburn can win this game, but I think Bama can lose it. That's why it's Milroe's first time coming in this game. It's different, man. It's different when you get in here. You're getting Jordan-Hare. Just like the vibe, the feeling is different. It's a weird place to go play. Turnovers. Bama's still been a heavily penalized team this year. Turnovers, penalties, and prayers. That's what Auburn needs. All right. That's what Auburn needs.
Prayers.
Peyton Thorne. Look, he needs. What's the James Franco villain in Spider-Man?
You about the Green Goblin?
The Green Goblin. Hey, we need one of those little masks sitting on a trash can talking to Peyton Thorne, just getting in his head every day. And Hugh, all right, we talk about being conservative, having plays just for the Ohio State-Michigan game. Whatever secret plays you have, all right, whatever's in that little green book, okay, it needs to come out Saturday, all right? Whatever witchcraft, wow, World of Warcraft, Your Highness plays that you have, we're going to need it, all right? Because this is a damn good Alabama football team. Caleb Downs is the best freshman I've seen in a long time. Milroe has to blow it. That's what he has to do. You have to force him to pass. One, you got to keep him in the pocket. If there's not a guy on that Auburn defense that can tackle him in space. There's not. And two, you have to make him throw it and force him into mistakes. Other than that, it's almost the Adam Sandler thing on the soundboard, all right? Somebody kill me, please.
Regardless, if you're an Auburn fan, if you're an Alabama fan, if you're an Ohio State fan, if you're a Michigan fan, starting a business can be tough, especially knowing how to run your online storefront. Talk about this all the time. I have guys that reach out to me, hey, I want to start a podcast. how do I get all this stuff lined up? It's a lot more in-depth, and that's just for podcasts. This is just in general, a lot more in-depth than what people think until you do it. But thanks to Shopify, it's easier than ever. What is Shopify, David? It's a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage all the way to the did we just hit 1 million order stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. They're there every day to help sell merchandise. With us, they're fantastic. They make it so easy. I want to be able to worry about this, narrow my focus on stuff that's going on in the sports world because there's so much of it, and that's where Shopify helps us. And if you hear the sound, hit that beautiful button, David. We rich, yo.
Money.
That means you made another sale. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Crane, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/Crane, CRAIN, all lowercase, now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/Crane. Trust me on this one. I want to make sure when you talk about kind of opening the bag up, right, and going deep in the bag, it's not just a bag of tricks, right? You can go out there and run a reverse every 2 plays and throwbacks and do stuff like that. You're kind of playing with fire. It's being unpredictable. It's pitching backwards. It's not being afraid to throw on first down. You have got to find a way to somehow keep this Alabama defense off balance. I think Bama's going to score. It's going to be very hard with the way this offense is now tailored to Jalen Monroe and kind of the way that they're developing and how good their offensive line is. And I know Jalen McLeod and some of these guys have come on in the pass rush, and I don't expect Auburn to get just absolutely stuffed by the offensive line in Alabama. But again, the keys to me, you have to stop the run game from Alabama. Mm-hmm. I think Auburn can do that.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen this Alabama offensive line throughout the year. I know they've continued to get better. Struggle to run the ball at times. If you can make them predictable, you can get them in predictable passing downs. Ron Roberts, we talk about a bag of tricks on offense. Ron Roberts is basically Joe Exotic when it comes to blitzes. All right, he'll be dropping guys out of helicopters. Guys will be burrowing underground. I know he's got a lot saved up for this, a lot of different looks for Jalen Monroe, whether that's showing pressure and bringing it's not just one thing. It's not just heating him up the whole game. We talk about this all the time. It's showing him a lot and giving him a lot of different variations, right? But it starts with stopping the run. If you can stop the run, I think it gives you a chance. But what cannot happen, what will absolutely gut you, and is one of the most tough things to deal with on defense, is you stop them on first down, right? 2nd and 8. You stop them on 2nd down, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. You got them locked up in the back end because Auburn's secondary is pretty good. That's the strength, in my opinion, of their defense. You lock them up, and then all of a sudden, Jalen Monroe squirts through and runs for 8, and all of a sudden, you get a first down. It's just demoralizing. Auburn's going to have to start quick. You're going to have to catch some breaks. Auburn's a 14.5-point underdog at home right now. The money is on them to cover that 14.5. I like them to cover that 14.5. Yeah. The over-under is 48.5. I would lean over if I had to take a total, but I think the plus 14.5 to me is probably the best bet there. To be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to bet this game. This is not one of the best bets on the board for me. I know we're going to get to that in a little bit. But if you're Auburn, it's going to take everybody.
Yeah, and don't overrush Jalen Monroe on the pass rush.
Yeah, can't run by him.
You cannot overrush him from the edges. You've got to stay in front. Even if that doesn't equal sacks, just try and keep him in front and make him throw from the pocket, in which case I still think you have to lean Alabama because the progression that this kid has made from being benched against South Florida to leading this Alabama Crimson Tide team to already playing in the SEC championship and winning the division has been truly incredible. But you're definitely not going to stand a chance if that first read's not there for them and he's going through his progressions and all of a sudden you've overrushed him and he sees a gap and he takes off for 8, like you said, or 80, because he can do that too.
No. You got to spy him the whole game. You got to spy him the whole game. You got to.
Yeah, I mean.
You don't have another choice. Unless you're just going to just show different blitzes. If it's me, I'm lining almost everybody up at the line of scrimmage and we're moving. I need him to be right.
This can't be a single order for Auburn on either side of the ball. It's got to be a buffet. Mm-hmm. You've got to give them a bunch of different stuff. It can't just be I'm a spy him the whole game. It can't just be I'm a blitz him the whole game. It can't just be I'm gonna rush 3 the whole game. It's got to be the whole bag. He ought to have to look at every single play. even if you're showing the same thing pre-snap and then giving different results, that is just as effective, if not more effective, to me to keep him getting a beat off of you, because there's really not a tell there. It's not one single thing, right? It is a multitude of things. And I think that's what you're going to see from Ron Roberts. And again, if something is working, you're going to go to that more.
Yeah.
But there is not one answer. This is not multiple choice with one answer. This is multiple choice where all the answers are right. You just want to find the best one of them. So that's what I'm looking at in this game. How much do you mix it up? How much do you pitch backwards on offense? If you're Alabama and you go in there and play well, you're probably not losing.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you can't score if you're Auburn.
That's very true.
It doesn't matter. You dropped 10 points against New Mexico State.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even make it to the red zone in 4 quarters
Yeah.
against New Mexico State. But sometimes, sometimes you go out there for basketball and you shoot 1 for 18 from 3.
Yeah, and then the next game,
you wake up
45%.
and you shoot 50%.
Yeah, that's how it works. Everybody on YouTube, it's rivalry week. But guess who's not a rival? Us, unless you disagree with us. But that's fine. We encourage dissent. By the way, while you're here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn that notification bell on so you can find out every time that we drop content.